Hello, folks. It's Monday, and I'm back with you. November 8th. Coffee. Hope your weekend was good, and I hope that your week starts good. I'll just share some things with you and some music, okay? Friday night, I had the performance with TBD, the dance collective here in town, their Project Effect. It was wonderful. It was a complete success. It really was, and very, very enjoyable experience. When the video is done, gets edited, they'll put it online, and I will share that with you when that happens, a link to it. It was very, very, very fun and exhilarating. I love working with people on artistic projects, especially people who have a good focus, and TBD is just a wonderful group to work with. Fantastic. Another YouTube vinyl community channel by Dave Leibowitz, I forget the name of it, but he put up a new video, and in the video is a short clip of me with David Nance band playing. And I went ahead and snipped it out and edited it, and if I remember, I'm going to put it in the video for you to see right here.
I got to be, well, I didn't know I was in such bad shape. When I could tell by that whole living room, sweet across your face, sweet across your face. And all my hours, the sun starts to break. We give them flowers, we're in an early grave. Until there's nothing left for heartache, for the hours.
But work continues on the David Nance album. I also have bass work for Dave Newhouse's new next Mana Mirage album. I received a track to work on. I'll be working on that. I'm going to give myself a week because I want to give it I want to give him a good bass track, so I'm not rushing into it. I'll be working on that this week. Musically, I want to show this. I put it away and I said, but I want to show this and talk about it. Johnny Griffin. So, some jazz for you. The Little Giant is what they call him. Johnny Griffin. A blowing session. This is a reissue, but a blue noter, and this is one that I inherited from my brother Patrick. The cool thing that I was sharing in recent days online about Johnny Griffin is that Johnny is from Chicago. My dad was born in Kentucky but raised in Chicago. He and Johnny were raised practically as brothers. They look similar. Both are light-skinned. My dad is actually even more light-skinned than this and had red hair. There's a whole story about that and me and my family. But Johnny and my dad were real close, and Johnny would come through Omaha traveling, touring, and whenever, I don't know how many times, but he would often come through Omaha and visit us. Come to the house, and he and my dad were very close. I remember this well as a boy, because Johnny was really nice, and he liked us kids, and he insisted that we call him Uncle Johnny. And this is a great jazz album. Johnny just blows on here. He just Little Giant for good reason. My dad could chase this. He wasn't as good as Johnny, but my dad was good. I also am aware that Johnny tried to help my dad in the business, I don't know why my dad never recorded or why I don't have any evidence of recordings by my dad, but this is a great jazz album. I'd like to share that I had to necessarily refrain from buying any records the entire month of October, and I did so successfully. The main reason was recovering from expenses for my brother's memorial service and cremation, and a tree fell on my garage. But I was fortunate, you know, the universe likes me or something. The tree in the next yard caught it within an inch of it, smashing the hell out of my roof of my garage. So that was fortunate, but I still had to remove the tree, and that wasn't cheap. And while the people were back there, they did a bunch of other stuff, as you know can happen when you own a home and you have a yard. So I bought no records in October, and so I went out Friday when the Radiohead came out, because I knew I wanted to get it. I already have the 10 inches, but I wanted this. Kid A, Amnesia, the 3-record set reissue of these albums that really could have come out together. They could have. Kid A and Amnesiac do strike me as a one that plays like that too. Something that folks are doing that I don't participate in is people just nitpick the fuck out of pressings now, and people are nitpicking. I got the red vinyl. Some are nitpicking about. Some say that they got a noisy copy, and others are complaining. Well, I thought it was supposed to be 45 RPM, but it's not. And I guess there's a 45 RPM version coming out, I guess. Mine plays fine, all 3 albums. I also really like this and liked it when it came out. I find it to be very cerebral and introspective. That's how I don't find it dull at all. There was some of the conversation in music groups online I do find slightly annoying, that people seem to be more concerned about their thoughts and ideas rather than actually listening to the music. I said it because of some of the asinine, nitpicky little comments that people will make about pressings and this and that and shit. And it's like, to me, it's not even realistic. It's like we're having this supply shortage worldwide where people can't hardly get their records pressed, and you guys are complaining about, I'm going to send it back. I didn't get it. I bought a couple more records, but what's sitting out to show you is Hella, Zach Hill from Death Grips, Hyper Drummer. The Devil Isn't Red. This is a project of his before he was in Death Grips, a duo. And I just really like the frantic way that he attacks the drums. This is on colored vinyl, gray vinyl. Yesterday was Joni Mitchell's birthday. I think she's 78. I love her. This is probably my favorite of her albums. The Hissing of Summer Lawns. Played this twice yesterday. Just fantastic all the way around. The songs, the words, the musicianship, the arrangements, the feeling of this album is very warm. Oh, I love it. Really good Procol Harum album. My copy is beat, but Home. Great band, you know, going all the way back, starting with A Wider Shade of Pale. I rate Procol Harum highly. I do. Good band. This is a good album. There was some discussion online about Catapilla, so I pulled it to play. Someone gave this to me. Amazing. It's very collectible. This is the U.S. Vertigo pressing. Progressive rock, good music. The vocals are tortuously horrible. Some people say they like the woman's voice. She has no pitch. It's terrible. Her singing is terrible. But this is very collectible, and thank you for whoever sent it to me. Hadn't played this forever. Kind of forgot about it. Really good album. Really good jazz album. Pure Dynamite by Buddy Terry. I've had this for decades. It's one of those where you have a record, you kind of forget about it. But this is fantastic. Look at that lineup. Woody Shaw, Eddie Henderson, Kenny Barron, all these people, everyone, in Tume, everyone, Joanne Brackeen, everyone. It's a fantastic session. Excellent session. Excellent album. This has been in my mind, and I was looking, and it just, the spine told me pull it, and I did. Semiramis, Dedicato a Phrase. This is just a really classic Italian progressive rock album with that strange cover, like a Green Man sort of thing. This is just great. Everything about progressive rock is on here, done right. Really good album. So, 2 more albums that I picked up. Been meaning to get a copy of this. I have had it on CD for a long time, but I've been waiting to get a vinyl version of Prince's Black Album. And this is one that says it's remastered and remixed. So there's 2 albums. It's purple vinyl. I never liked the Black Album because this kind of illustrates to me the vain, materialistic side of Prince that I probably would not have liked if we were around each other. Some of the stuff he talks about here is just really, really shallow. About pimping, not necessarily pimping, but the whole idea of I'm clean and look at me, and just the whole part of clubbing that I don't like, and nightlife that I don't like, where people are really fake and shallow. And that really comes across in some of the songs on here, as well as him bitching about his deal with Warner Brothers, which is kind of funny. But it also I just hear all this insecurity in Prince as a person, which I knew was there, and it's often there with really talented people. How insecure he was and how he constantly needed reassurance of his coolness. I'm glad I got it. Just my perspective. This was in the used section. I remember seeing this back in the day as a kid when it came out, I think around 1969. Never was able to pick up a copy in the cutouts for some reason. Hamilton Streetcar. This is really good. So when I put it on, out of all the records I got, the Prince and Radiohead, and I got another Kaleidoscope album. This is the best. This is the best of the albums, the Hamilton Streetcar. This is Psych pop Psych, where they're using studio musicians, and there's several interludes that are all instrumental with a full brass band, and then the songs. Apple Tree Theater comes to mind. Lee Michaels has a song on here. It doesn't sound like the Millennium, but it's from that period and of that ilk. Sagittarius comes to mind. Those albums are highly regarded. I don't hear about Hamilton Streetcar. This is really close to being as good as those. I've played this a couple times already. I was pleasantly surprised at how good this is. Pleasantly surprised. I'm going to stop here and try to remember to insert the Dave Nance clip, but I also want to thank you all for your feedback on my last video, how I address unsavory comments and people. I want to explain again for you folks who haven't been with me for a long time. This has to do with racism, where I was targeted by people who decided that I'm a bad guy because I had problems with this, There was a public campaign not started by me to help me. And they don't like the way that it went. And so they're just certain that I'm that I'm a bad guy. And so they, for years they come over here, and it's racist because when it first started, it was real bad. But it's interesting how these folks keep trying to find clever ways to diss me, and I just see right through it because I'm the one living the life. Okay, I'm the one. I'm the proof. I'm not the one standing on the side saying, "Oh, I saw a little bit of this and I saw a little bit of that, so it means this." And this happens all the time. It has to do with this long history of how black people in white America are criminalized. Racists just assume the worst about people of color. And that's what I've been dealing with, and that's what I deal with here, and that's why I stand up to it all the time. That's what's going on. And the other thing I'll say is that it's unfortunate that the folks who do this stuff are so low that they don't even see their own behavior and what it shows about them. They don't even see it. But I do, so I stand up to it. Y'all take care.